All right, so we are diving into a real-life mystery today,
Oh, yeah?
ripped straight from the headlines.
Sounds good.
Two sisters vanish in Aberdeen, Scotland,
Huh?
and the details are unsettling to say the least.
I bet.
We've got police reports, witness testimonies,
Wow.
and a family that's pleading for answers.
Oh, gosh.
Imagine this, you're a triplet,
Okay.
and suddenly two of your siblings just disappear.
Oh, wow. That's gotta be.
That's the reality for the Huszti family right now.
It's a chilling scenario,
Mm-hmm.
and with every hour that passes, it just gets more concerning.
Yeah, absolutely. So for you listening, Eliza and Henrietta Huszti,
Okay.
32-year-old Hungarian sisters living in Aberdeen, they went missing on January 7th,
Oh, wow.
last seen on CCTV near the River Dee around 2 a.m.
2 a.m.
That's right, 2 a.m. That
Oh.
sparked a massive search and, of course, a lot of questions.
Yeah, and the location of their last sighting is particularly intriguing.
Yeah.
2 a.m. on Victoria Bridge, heading towards the River Dee.
Right.
That in itself raises some red flags. Yeah, for sure.
But then they make a very specific turn
Okay.
onto a footpath that leads toward the Aberdeen Boat Club.
Okay.
Now, why would they be heading there at that hour?
Right. It's not exactly a place you'd expect to find people strolling at 2 a.m.
Right.
You have to wonder if they knew someone there or had a particular reason to be in that area.
Yeah, exactly. Were they meeting someone? Did they have a pre-planned reason to be near the boat club? Or was it simply a shortcut to another destination? We just don't know yet.
It's a giant question mark.
Yeah.
And to make things even more puzzling, their brother, Joseph, says their mother spoke to them just days before,
Okay.
and everything seemed perfectly normal.
Wow.
There was no indication that anything was wrong.
And that's what makes these cases so frustrating.
Yeah.
The suddenness, the lack of warning.
Right.
One minute everything's fine, and the next your loved ones have vanished without a trace.
Exactly. And the family has released a statement pleading for anyone with information to come forward.
They're clearly grasping at any hope, any thread that might lead them to Eliza and Henrietta.
Absolutely. It's a desperate plea,
Yeah.
born out of a parent's worst nightmare.
I'm sure.
And it really highlights the human toll of these disappearances.
Yeah.
That ripple effect that extends far beyond the immediate family.
Absolutely. But then there's this other wrinkle in the case.
Okay.
We know Eliza and Henrietta were planning to move out of their apartment, and their landlord found some belongings left behind.
That's the detail that really piques my interest.
Right.
The landlord specifically said there was nothing to suggest they were planning to vanish or harm themselves,
Yeah.
but something obviously made him concerned enough to report it.
Right. So what could it be? What kind of belongings could raise concern without immediately pointing to those conclusions?
Well, it could be a number of things. Maybe a half-packed suitcase,
Okay.
suggesting a sudden unplanned departure.
Okay.
Perhaps some important documents were missing.
Uh-huh.
Passports, financial records, something that would raise a red flag.
Okay.
Or maybe it was something seemingly insignificant that just felt off to the landlord, something that didn't quite fit the picture.
It's almost like... We don't know how they fit together yet.
Exactly. And that's where the police come in,
Yeah.
trying to piece together this puzzle with the limited information they have.
And they're not holding back on resources, divers, dogs, helicopters.
Oh.
They're throwing everything they've got at this search.
Which tells you they're taking this very seriously.
Right.
They're not treating this as a simple missing persons case.
But initially, they said there was no evidence of foul play.
Hmm.
However, later statements seem to backtrack a bit,
Okay.
emphasizing that they're keeping an open mind
Yeah.
and that the river is just a main theory.
And that shift in language is quite telling.
Right.
It suggests that something has changed their thinking.
Yeah.
Maybe something in the belongings they found. Or perhaps the lack of any digital footprint after their disappearance.
Oh, that's a good point. In this day and age, it's almost impossible to vanish without leaving some kind of digital trail.
Exactly.
So the fact that they've gone completely dark online is certainly suspicious.
It definitely adds another layer of intrigue to an already perplexing situation.
So for you listening, what we have here is a puzzle with a lot of missing pieces.
Yeah.
We've got a last sighting near a river in the dead of night,
Uh-huh.
a planned move with belongings left behind,
Right?
a worried family desperate for answers,
Of course.
and a police investigation that's taking a turn toward the unknown.
Yeah,
It really makes you think, doesn't it?
it does.
In today's hyper-connected world,
Uh-huh.
could you just disappear without a trace?
Just a chilling thought.
It is. And for the Huszti family, the agony of not knowing must be unbearable.
Absolutely.
Their public plea for information was heartbreaking.
It was.
You can just feel the desperation in their words.
Absolutely. They're clinging to hope, but with each passing day,
Yeah.
that hope must dwindle.
Yeah.
And imagine the weight of that uncertainty.
Right.
Not knowing whether your loved ones are safe or if they've met with some terrible fate.
It's a nightmare scenario. And, it's interesting to consider the unique dynamic of this case.
Right.
We're dealing with triplets.
Right.
The bond between triplets is said to be incredibly strong, almost telepathic,
Wow.
to suddenly lose two of your siblings like this.
Yeah. The emotional toll must be immeasurable. It's like losing a part of yourself.
Yeah.
And it raises the question, could this bond offer any clues?
Yeah.
Did Eliza and Henrietta share any secrets or concerns that might shed light on their disappearance?
It's a fascinating angle.
Yeah.
Maybe there's something in their shared history.
Yeah.
Something only a triplet would understand.
Right.
That could be relevant to the investigation.
Yeah.
A hidden fear, a shared secret, something they never told anyone else.
It's a reminder that sometimes the most valuable insights come from understanding the human element of a case.
Right.
The emotions, the relationships, the unspoken bonds. These can all be crucial pieces of the puzzle.
Right. And speaking of pieces of the puzzle,
Yeah.
let's go back to those belongings the landlord found.
Okay.
It's such a curious detail.
Yeah.
What could have been left behind that would raise concern, but not necessarily point to foul play or a planned disappearance?
Well, if we were to put on our detective hats for a moment,
Okay.
we could speculate. Maybe it was a hastily packed bag,
Okay.
suggesting a sudden, unplanned departure.
All right.
Or perhaps some crucial documents were missing,
Like
their passports or financial records,
okay.
hinting at a change of plans they hadn't shared with anyone.
Or maybe it was the opposite.
Right.
Maybe it was the absence of something that was concerning.
Uh.
Like, what if their phones were gone,
Whoa.
but their chargers were still there, or their wallets were left behind?
Yeah,
Those inconsistencies could definitely raise red flags.
absolutely. It's the things that don't quite add up. The little details that seem out of place that often hold the most valuable clues.
Yeah.
It's like trying to assemble a jigsaw puzzle with half the pieces missing.
Yeah.
And we're left trying to figure out what the picture's supposed to look like.
And the police are essentially asking the public to help fill in those missing pieces, right?
Right, they are.
Mm-hmm.
They're appealing for anyone with CCTV
Right.
or dash cam footage from that night.
Uh-huh.
Even something seemingly insignificant could be the key to cracking this case wide open.
It's like that saying, the eyes are useless when the mind is blind.
Oh, yeah.
We might be looking right at the answer,
Right.
but if we don't know what we're looking for, it's meaningless.
Yeah.
And in a city like Aberdeen with countless cameras and people coming and going,
Yeah.
there's bound to be some footage out there that could shed light on this.
That's the power of collective observation.
Right.
Someone out there might have seen something,
Uh-huh.
no matter how small or insignificant it seemed at the time.
Yep.
That could be the missing link. It could be a car driving slowly behind the sisters,
Okay.
a figure lurking in the shadows, or even just a strange noise that stood out.
It's amazing what our brains choose to remember and what they don't.
Oh, yeah.
And so I think that call out is really important
Absolutely.
for people to really think back to that night,
Yeah.
January 7th,
Mm.
and try to remember any detail,
Any unusual sighting.
any unusual sightings.
Anything that might be remotely connected to the sisters' disappearance.
Think about your own routine.
Yeah.
Were you out that night? Do you live in the area? Check your dash cam footage. Think about who you might have seen.
Even something as simple as remembering seeing two women walking near the river at that hour could be helpful.
Yeah.
Every piece of information, no matter how small, could contribute to the bigger picture.
Right. And let's not forget the digital aspect of this.
Right.
We live in an age where almost everything is documented online.
Social media posts, location check-ins,
Yeah.
online purchases.
Yep.
We leave a digital footprint wherever we go.
But in this case, there's nothing.
Right.
It's almost as if Eliza and Henrietta vanished into thin air,
Yeah.
leaving no trace behind in the digital world.
That's what makes this case so perplexing.
Right.
It's 2025 and people just don't disappear like this anymore.
Right.
At least not without leaving some sort of digital trail.
Right.
So what does that tell us?
Right.
Were they actively trying to avoid being tracked?
Right.
Or did something happen so quickly that they had no opportunity to leave a digital trace?
Those are the questions that keep me up at night. It's a mystery wrapped in an enigma.
Yeah.
And we're left grappling with the same uncertainties as the investigators, the same sense of unease.
And while we wait for answers, the only thing we can do is hope for the best and continue to follow the investigation closely.
For sure.
But it's important to keep their story alive.
Yeah.
To keep the pressure on for a thorough and relentless investigation.
Absolutely. And for you listening, if you have any information at all,
right,
no matter how small or seemingly insignificant, please contact the Aberdeen police.
You never know. Your tip could be the one that leads them home.
Sometimes the smallest piece of information can make all the difference.
Absolutely.
It could be the missing piece of the puzzle that unlocks the entire mystery.
It could.
So let's do what we do best here at the Deep Dive.
Right.
Let's shift gears a bit and explore another dimension of this story.
Right.
One that I find particularly fascinating, the role of the River Dee in Aberdeen's history and folklore.
Ah, yes. The River Dee, it's more than just a backdrop to this mystery, isn't it?
Yeah.
It has a rich and storied past.
Yeah.
With tales of both beauty and tragedy woven into its very currents.
Right.
It's almost as if the river itself is a character in this unfolding drama.
Exactly. And with the river being the focal point of the search for the Huszti sisters, I think it's worth taking a closer look at its significance.
Yeah.
Its place in the collective consciousness of Aberdeen.
It adds a layer of depth and intrigue to an already captivating mystery.
Yeah.
It's like peering into the soul of the city, trying to understand its history and its secrets.
Are you ready to delve into the murky depths of the River Dee's past?
Lead the way. I'm always eager to explore the intersection of history, mystery, and the human experience.
Excellent. Because the River Dee is more than just a body of water.
That's right.
It's a silent witness to centuries of Aberdeen's history.
It is.
And who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe, just maybe, it holds some secrets that could shed light on the present-day mystery we're grappling with.
Maybe so.
So for you listening,
the
River Dee has been Aberdeen's lifeblood for centuries.
Wow.
It's where the city was born, where it thrived, and it's woven into the very fabric of the community.
It's fascinating how a river can shape the destiny of an entire city.
Right.
And it's not just about trade and transportation.
Yeah.
The Dee is steeped in folklore and legend.
Oh, really?
There are tales of water spirits, hidden treasures,
and
even a mythical beast said to lurk beneath its surface.
Okay, a mythical beast. Now you got to tell me more about that.
Well, it's called the
Ichooge,
a shape-shifting water horse that could lure unsuspecting travelers to a watery grave.
Oh, gosh.
It's said to be able to disguise itself as a handsome man or a beautiful pony.
Oh, wow.
Enticing people to ride on its back before plunging into the depths of the river.
Wow, that's both eerie and fascinating.
It is.
It's amazing how these ancient stories
Yeah.
can still capture our imaginations and send shivers down our spines.
It's a reminder that the river has always held an element of danger.
Yeah.
A sense of the unknown.
Right.
It's a powerful force of nature that can be both life-giving and life-taking.
And that brings us back to the present-day mystery, doesn't it?
It does.
The River Dee, a source of both life and legend, is now at the center of a very real-life disappearance.
It's almost poetic in a way.
Yeah.
The river has witnessed so much history, so many joys and sorrows. And now it holds the answers to this modern-day enigma.
Yeah.
What secrets does it keep? What has it seen?
It's a question that haunts me. And just like those ancient tales, this story is filled with unanswered questions.
Right.
With a sense of foreboding that lingers in the air.
It's a stark reminder that even in our modern world, with all its technology and advancements, there are still mysteries that defy explanation.
Right. We may think we've tamed nature. But it still holds secrets that we may never fully understand.
That's right.
You know, as we delve deeper into this case, I can't help but feel a sense of responsibility to the Huszti family.
Of course.
To those who are desperately searching for answers.
We have to keep their story alive. Keep the pressure on for a thorough investigation. Someone out there knows something.
Right.
And even the smallest detail can make all the difference.
Absolutely. So to you listening,
yes,
we urge you to think back to January 7th. Were you near the River Dee that night?
Think about it.
Did you see anything unusual?
Right.
Any detail, no matter how small, could be crucial.
Remember, sometimes the most valuable insights come from the most unexpected sources.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe you saw a car parked in an unusual spot.
Okay.
Or noticed someone acting strangely.
Right.
Don't dismiss anything. Trust your instincts.
If you have any information at all, please contact the Aberdeen police.
Yes.
It's time to bring Eliza and Henrietta home.
Let's hope that together we can help bring some closure to this baffling mystery.
This case, with its twists and turns, its blend of reality and myth, has certainly given us all a lot to think about.
It has.
It's a reminder that even in our fast-paced, information-saturated world, there are still stories that captivate us, that make us stop and think.
It shows us that even in a world of instant communication and constant surveillance, some mysteries remain unsolved.
Right.
And those mysteries can spark our curiosity, ignite our imaginations, and remind us of the enduring power of the unknown.
And sometimes the most important stories are the ones that leave us with more questions than answers.
Yeah.
They challenge our perceptions,
Right.
force us to confront the limits of our understanding, and remind us that there's still so much we don't know.
We may never have all the answers in this case.
Right.
But the search for truth is just as important as the truth itself. It's the journey, the exploration, the act of piecing together the fragments of a story that truly captivates us.
So to you listening, keep those questions alive.
That's right.
Keep searching for answers, for understanding, for connection. And never forget the human stories at the heart of these mysteries.
Of course.
The lives that are touched, the families that are shattered, the enduring hope for resolution.
And as we wrap up this deep dive, we leave you with this final thought.
Okay.
What would you do if faced with the unknown? How would you navigate the murky waters of a mystery like this? What lengths would you go to find the truth?
It's a question worth pondering, a reminder that we're all just one step away from the unexpected.
That's right.
Until next time, keep exploring,
keep
questioning, and keep diving deep.
Absolutely. Right? They're appealing for anyone with CCTV or dash cam footage from that night. Even something seemingly insignificant could be the key to cracking this case wide open.
You know, it's like that saying, the eyes are useless when the mind is blind.
Oh, yeah.
We might be looking right at the answer. But if we don't know what we're looking for, it's meaningless. And in a city like Aberdeen with countless cameras and people coming and going, there's bound to be some footage out there that could shed light on this.
That's the power of collective observation. Someone out there might have seen something, no matter how small or insignificant it seemed at the time. That could be the missing link. It could be a car driving slowly behind the sisters. A figure lurking in the shadows. Or even just a strange noise that stood out.
You know, it's amazing what our brains choose to remember and what they don't.
Oh, yeah?
And so I think that call out is really important for people to really think back to that night, January 7th, and try to remember any detail.
Any unusual sightings.
Anything
that might be remotely connected to the sisters' disappearance.
Think about your own routine. Were you out that night? Do you live in the area? Check your dash cam footage. Think about who you might have seen.
Even something as simple as remembering seeing two women walking near the river at that hour could be helpful. Every piece of information, no matter how small, could contribute to the bigger picture.
And let's not forget the digital aspect of this. We live in an age where almost everything is documented online.
Social media posts, location check-ins, online purchases. We leave a digital footprint wherever we go.
But in this case, there's nothing. It's almost as if Eliza and Henrietta vanished into thin air. Leaving no trace behind in the digital world.
That's what makes this case so perplexing. It's 2025, and people just don't disappear like this anymore. At least not without leaving some sort of digital trail. So what does that tell us? Were they actively trying to avoid being tracked? Or did something happen so quickly that they had no opportunity to leave a digital trace?
Those are the questions that keep me up at night. It's a mystery wrapped in an enigma. And we're left grappling with the same uncertainties as the investigators, the same sense of unease.
And while we wait for answers, the only thing we can do is hope for the best. And continue to follow the investigation closely.
For sure.
But it's important to keep their story alive. To keep the pressure on for a thorough and relentless investigation.
Absolutely. And for you listening, if you have any information at all, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant, please contact the Aberdeen police.